Our mission here at SingleKey is to take the risk out of renting for homeowners and renters. Currently, we're primarily focused on helping small property owners and small landlords really deal with tenant risk. When it comes to tenant risk, a lot of these small landlords are counting on their rental income or rent check to come in each month to be able to cover their property expenses and mortgage payments in order to be able to sustain their property. And securing or making sure they get their rent check each month is pivotal to their success as a homeowner. So we make sure that basically they are guaranteed their rental income no matter what, despite some issues with the tenants. This idea actually came to me when I was working in banking. I spent about 5 years working in financial services following my MBA, and at the time we were working in credit cards and noticed that a third of your income as a tenant actually went towards your rent check each month. So we were thinking of brainstorming ways that we can kind of enter that relationship and add value. Pretty quickly, it became apparent that we had to really add value to the landlord side or incentivize them to be able to work with us, given that they held the keys to the relationship. And when we spent the time interviewing those customers, we realized pretty quickly that it was, this was the biggest problem that they had. It was securing their rental income, making sure they get their rent check at the end of the month so they could afford to cover their property expenses and mortgage payments. And the rent guarantee was the solution that we came up with. We were always kind of cognizant of risk management. How do we basically lend in a way that makes sense? How do we provide access to credit in a well-managed way? And if you think about it, if you're providing a rent guarantee to the landlord, you're basically underwriting the tenant in that sense. So you have to come up with a way that, hey, we are still able to cover or to, let's say, approve 80% of the tenant population out there. And we've been able to actually kind of maintain our profitability and manage our risk during these difficult times as well, and have become the leader in the space providing rent guarantees in the market. Swoop was actually very helpful in helping us kind of get our initial fundraising in place. We were a seed stage company at the time, and we were looking to raise a small seed round to help us kind of boost our growth. And Swoop was able to help us connect us in the ecosystem with investors, with grant financing options and debt financing options. And we found that very helpful to help us close around. What we've learned since starting this business is that the ideas are only as good as the team behind them. Where I think initially you get very excited about kind of the idea, and you think that everything else will take care of itself. The opposite is true, is that the idea is it's only the first step, and you really need to, it's all about the execution. It's all about getting the right people in place, doing the right research, bringing the right product to market, and overcoming all the hurdles along the way. And the idea will shift and change over time, and you have to have the flexibility to be able to move quickly, pivot, and really get the right product out there that customers want, and make sure that you stay customer focused along the way. Currently, we're actually very landlord focused in the sense that a lot of the services we provide to take the risk out of renting away from landlords. But in doing so, we've now grown to become the leading tenant screening company here in Canada, where we process thousands of rental applications each month. And in doing so, we have access to thousands of tenants that are signing up for SingleKey. So we're thinking of ways to actually add value to the tenant side of the equation, and they need a lot of help. You have folks now that are actually moving into a new home, new apartment, and there's a lot of need for services, products, as well as financing when you're making that big life change. So we're looking for ways to partner with insurance companies, lenders, and even the telcos to be able to offer the right products to our customers and our tenants to help them with their move.